What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and as you can see from that video, if you haven't watched it, it's actually a really good watch. I think there's a lot of value in that video from Alpha Investments. So I kind of did just want to talk about, in my plans, I was just going to talk about sealed product anyways, because there has been a restock, and as we all know, Bandai has also opened up more stores, and when they typically restock these or open a new store, that they will also have OP-01. And other things. Before we were just seeing blisters, but now we're finally starting to see booster boxes. So go ahead, buckle up, because in the first little bit here, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on just this overall and sealed product and how you should approach that. I do have some. I actually think it's a phenomenal time to pick some up. Obviously, it was very expensive. I've never opened OP-01 myself. I did buy OP-01 boxes, but I just never opened them. I just ended up buying the singles because I've never had luck opening them. But I digress. In today's video, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about sealed product, my overall thoughts on it, how you should approach it. And we're also going to talk about some cards that are on my radar. And then, of course, that entail both the new leaders that we've seen revealed. So the premium reprint booster, we're also going to touch on that. But the new Sanji leader and the new Blackbeard leader. We're going to talk about the Blackbeard leader and Sanji and cards that impact him, and just some things from like reprints and that are cheap now. But so, you know, a TBD on how big the restock has been, if it's going to be bigger, but we've known that this has been coming. Bandai told us at Nats that they were going to be reprinting these, and then of course the question is, how long are they going to reprint these? What is the value in these? But my biggest thing, so they were 400, 500 bucks solid, holding for a bit, even higher at one point, and then slowly made its way down. These are kind of like as the stores have gotten them and people have opened them, and then boom, here we are. But you can see here there are a ton of sales, because again, this is a great opportunity for people to pick it up for their sealed collection, people to open them, because at $260 it's almost worth ripping. You're probably nagging, but there's hope, you know, and you get to experience OP-01. And there's a lot of different things. I've actually, if I had the funds, I would 100% pick one up. And also, if you're going to make a purchase, make sure you click that link in the YouTube video description. It helps me out a ton. And so, it's like, you know, it's an opportunity people haven't had. And so you essentially get to buy two for the same price. And then you look at this Paramount War. Paramount War's prices, you know, it's almost like this is the price of like OP-07. Surely it's cheaper in your LGS, but this is a very reasonable price considering the cards that you can pull from this. And I actually, so I own two booster boxes of this as well. You see like 170. And you know, a ton of sales here too, rightfully so. Because I mean, this is like, people paid this for OP-06. This is cheaper than OP-05. And it's a good set. It's got good cards. It's got cards that have been good time and time again. It's definitely gone down a lot. Smoker leader has not. But, you know, things like this, it's great. But the biggest question you have to ask yourself is, what is giving these value? Because we have the premium reprint booster, and we'll take a look at that here. So you can see, so these are just like clips from these are pulls from the premium booster. You can see the chopper from the, what's chopper? I don't even know if he was in the set. He was in the decks, right? But then there's also this alternate holographic version. But see, there's this common version that looks exactly like the regular chopper. And same with the Otama. And so it's not even like these cards. And then here's a full alternate art version. They look really nice, as you can see. And then there's brand new alternate art versions. So with a set like this, with these premium reprints, it begs the question, what is the value of, say, Romance Dawn? And what is the value of... And so my thoughts, one, of course, OP-01. A lot of people like to think of like the first set as like, you know, everybody just comes back to Pokemon first edition, and everybody, I feel like the whole market is hung up on that. But it's not even the pools. It's just like the overall OG. And so we're the ones giving it value. And so I caution you, you know, do you value, you know, I would not pick these up unless you wanted them. If they go up, great. But as we've seen with most Bandai games, Digimon, Dragon Ball had some value, then they just reprinted the whole game into a new game. And then everything became worthless. A couple cards went back up because they're competitive scene and they've committed to still continue and release like one set a year. But with Bandai card games, their track record isn't amazing. But the one thing you have is the #1 manga in the world. #1 manga in the world. So that's where a lot of the value drives from. And so I think that these are still solid. If there is more, I'm sure that there will be, because like their printers are delayed and they have to put in their print order way in advance. I'm sure to some degree there will be more. The biggest thing is the Bandai stores probably will have these forever, but they slice the box. So it's what is a true sealed, because as these are expensive, 260 people are buying these, they're still not opening them. So there's most likely less being taken out of circulation because people aren't doing these, people aren't opening them, people aren't box breaking them. There isn't anything that's like truly worth chasing in terms of a hit besides the manga. And so it's like, is there just going to be supply added? And these are things that continue. I think at 260, if I had the funds, I would buy it. So do with that what you will. I think one of the cards, of course, that comes to mind, and touching on the premium booster, are going to be alternate arts, because these aren't going to be as reprinted. Like, you know, with these premium reprint sets, assuming they're going to continue to do those, be it if it's once every 1 year or once every 2 years, because it took 2 years to release the first one. Maybe the next one comes in 1 year, maybe it comes in 2. TBD, we won't know until it happens. But in terms of that, alternate arts are going to be your best bet, because as you can see here, like this Eustace slowly making his way back up, because Uda did see a solid performance this weekend, but this format kind of dies off. And as you can see, like a lot of people have taken to picking these cards up just because of their prices. You know, we were seeing like 22, 25, 26 and things in that area, slowly just absorbing these deals, because people have got them from the Bandai store and they were cut open, so they just went ahead and, you know, ripped them. You hit this, you know, you're like $30, great. You're gonna make more money probably opening it than trying to sell a cut open box, unless somebody wants to open it themselves. But this card is great card to have. I'm assuming this is going to be reprinted. But again, these reprints don't come until November, so keep that in mind. Are you going to play green? I don't think green is super relevant anytime between now and then, so I think you can hold off on this card. But I just kind of want to highlight on it, because as you can see, the alternate art comes down like this, but then you see this was 40 into 30 into 20. This one really just peaked at around 90 and is sitting at 80. So much more dramatic movement on just these super rares, but like the super rares can also become more valuable. Another great card. So we've seen, so this card was about almost 40, went back down to 30, slowly making its way back up. But then a lot of places got reprints of these decks. So they got OP-01, OP-02, they got these decks. Bandai stores have been getting these decks. OP-06 also. I need to pick up a sealed one for my collection. But great time to pick up Queen. Queen will forever be a purple staple, in my opinion. Him and Sanji, but as you can see, again, just kind of really jumped off here, and a lot of people have been taking advantage. Nowhere near as much as the others, because you can just buy the deck, and we'll look at the deck here, because like you get the deck, it's $40, you get those, and you get everything else. So there's the argument to just buy the deck. I'm sure maybe like other stores have better prices, possibly eBay, but another card, of course, with Bonnie just kind of jumping in here to just a full market watch now. Bonnie's brought Cavendish, and so this isn't really 7, it's 15. This card was down here. I'm fairly sure I've mentioned this before. I wish I could just like pop up a video, but I don't keep track. But this was definitely one of those cards, because this card is super good in Bonnie, because you get to play him for 3. You play him for 3, and then if he sticks, you get to play something else for cheap. So absolutely phenomenal card, pivotal key card. I think I only have 1, so I think I need 3, and at $15, I'm very sad inside, even though I called it out. You know, it is what it is. But again, like, you know, my whole EBO1 thesis that just this set has so much possibility for value. Back to OP-01 though, and kind of like on green items. So we know Yamato's getting reprinted. What we've seen is an alternate art. We don't know if these higher rarities yet, unless if I'm incorrect, let me know in the comments below. But I know on the lower rarity things, they've showed us that they reprint it exactly the same. I don't know if that carries true for the secrets and for like the alternate arts that are being reprinted, because all we've seen are alternate arts of them. We haven't seen the regular forms like shown in card forms for the set. So do with that what you will. But at $20, this card was 40. This card, if decks don't have an out to this, it hurts. And so I think it's a great card to finally own a playset of. Again, its possibilities go down, but the restocks really drove this price down just over the past month. So it's a relatively safe point. And then Katakuri as well. So if you want to play, I've mentioned Katakuri. He was confirmed in the reprint, went down. OP-03 has been like hit with Hot Topic and all of that. So he's made his way back down and getting a reprint again in November, though. So he's going to be hot this format. If NL truly sees success, some people say, NA has the best NL players. So maybe we see Jonas back on Katakuri with NL. Maybe we don't, but if NL starts to see decent success, I think this has a reason to go back up, especially considering this card was $175. Great opportunity. I paid $50 for a majority of mine, so it is what it is. But then again, like alts kind of just hold a little bit stronger. This one, of course, was kind of expensive. I don't know if I agreed with that price, but now it's sitting around 90. I do like the other alt more, but if you're completionist, I don't think OP-03 has been restocked as much. Maybe it's in the next wave. Maybe they just prioritize 1 and 2. So we'll see. But I just want to highlight, as you can see here, like big old cliff, less, very much more of a thing. Because people like high rarity as well. And so now kind of just talking about OP-08. We've got Edward Newgate. So this is a card that's played. I actually might buy these two. This is a card that's played in Pudding. And so if any ban list is put into effect, Pudding is going to be a very strong leader. Pudding is already a decent leader, but RP Law is very much a problem. But this card is a key card. As you can see, it jumped up with the popularity and realization of Pudding, and as people kind of caught on to that. So I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's going to stay around this area at this point, and so the best case is it goes up a lot. The worst case, and unlike the regular decks, these are cards that we probably don't see reprinted as much, if you want to consider that. But I think this card has a lot of opportunity. I'm probably going to pick some up. If you're going to pick some up, make sure you use that link in the YouTube video description, and if you like the content, just make sure you hit that subscribe button for me while you're on your way down there. Super appreciate that. It helps me out a ton. And then just kind of diving straight into like Sanji. So there's a new Sanji leader. It gets everything rush. And for the first time, it gives anything without an on play a rush. And so for the first time, we have the opportunity for like these when attacking and other characters to like gain instant value that they could not before, and they had to stick a turn. So one of those cards, of course, with this being the 25th anniversary set that came out way back when the game first started. Actually, pre-orders happened before this game was even out. This is one of the cards that stuck out immediately as Brook, and there aren't a ton of them. So like you can kind of see, I did mention it, there's not an insane amount of sales. I don't super love it at this price, but I mentioned it at like $3-4. I bought a playset at like $3.50 each. I think it has the potential though. If the card finds its way into the deck, maybe the deck is just Vanilla Rush, and Vanilla Rush is the way. It's quite possible. I mean, if every card in your deck has Rush, it's a pretty strong deck. If every card in your deck has Rush and Counter, even stronger. But cards like this can be very strong answering bodies. You play it for 5, you're going into something at 6, and you're clearing it, or you're going 6 at lead, then 5 into the reduced body. So Brook is one of my favorite cards. A lot of people also mentioned Pell. Pell alts obviously skyrocketed with the news. I'm not entirely sold on Pell, but Pell is great for RP Law because he does answer some of their best bodies, being Pudding and Moria on his on-play swing. So there is the potential for that with that 4K power threshold. So the alt arts jumped up a bit. I don't know if these were legitimate listings, but not a lot of sales. You know, hype's kind of fallen down. I would not touch these, but I did just want to highlight these for you to keep on your watch list as these come down. Same here with like the Super's still super cheap if you can find a bundle of them, because a majority of these are just single listings at this point. But if you can find a deal, I think the Super Rare is definitely worth holding, because even if this becomes $2-3, you're winning. And now Blackbeard. With Blackbeard in mind, he negates all on-play abilities. Negates everything that you do. But you can still play some removal cards. And, of course, this card is really good in Lucci. Then, of course, Staple. I mentioned this before, but this is one of those few cards that can also be played because it is on play, but you also have when attacking. So you might not get the on play effect, but you can still use him for removal should he stick around. And so that is an argument to why you could play this. Another card that is activate main. So you want to activate main, not on plays. I'm assuming there's possibility he just gets support and it's all busted. So we'll see what happens. If he doesn't and he gets like Calgara treatment, you know, these cards could come up. Otherwise, these cards could be nothing. This, of course, comes in the starter deck 8 Luffy. Couple sales, couple people realized. I also mentioned it on X if you're not already following me. Somebody believed it enough to buy 64. And so there is the potential because it is a removal card. It doesn't require a discard and is activate main. And so it's possible the combo if you black is still going to play the control. Another one, my absolute favorite, 100%. I had to buy 2 more instantly. I've wanted so many of these, but just the thought of being able to play this gets me so excited because it is Laboon, the GOAT, the One Piece GOAT. He is the One Piece. And so I mentioned it. Obviously, other people caught on to absolutely absurd amount of sales. So none. Brrr. And so it's at 14, still really reasonable. Again, Memorial Collection, the EB01 is looking for a reason to be valuable. It is searching for a reason to be valuable. So there's a possibility a lot of these cards, like Cavendish, not even the alt, is 15. So possibility for Laboon to be way higher. You know, we saw it with Brook. Here's the super rare jumped. It's still 65 cents. You know, pulling up on $1. If this card goes like Brook, again, we're months and months away from this. Months and months away from this. We're like December. We're talking like December. Okay, so there's 6 months in between. But it's not like, you know, maybe you pick this up as a throw-in, things like that. And so I love this because I could very well see it because you can't play Kuzan. You play Kuzan, you draw a card. But now you can play this, gain instant value, and you have counter because you're not drawing that card. So this could be a very strong Blackbeard card regardless. I think it is the strongest black card for that. There is one other card that I think could be very solid, that being Garp. Garp already kind of jumping up here. All the cheap ones have been bought out. You know, Navy looking for more value in there. We saw Smoker jump up to $5. This card is an activate main and its removal. One of the few. Kind of like the Kobe. You know, it's almost like there's spoilers there. And then one other card that I want to mention is Monkey D. Luffy. I think this is the alternate art. It has playability in Lucci, especially for like black yellow Luffy, and just kind of like as like a game finisher. I think this card can catch people off a surprise. Alfred, I believe, one of the One Piece goats, had played this in his Lucci list. So it's like gone down, kind of bottomed, and it's gear 4. OP-04, which is kind of, again, like in that area. This was one of the cheapest booster boxes and then slowly made its way back up as supply just dwindled all across the board. But I really like this card. I think you should consider it. I don't think it hurts to have 1 or 2 in the collection. If you collect Luffy, might be a good time to pick it up. I feel like this is just the cheapest it will be. I picked one up at like 16. I think it's a great price. I think it's a great card. I think definitely have a playset of the super rare just in case, because you never know. I don't think it does anything extraordinary, but if anything is going to move the needle, it's going to be the alt art. And as always, if you enjoy the content, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a ton, and thank you all so much for watching.